Hey, good evening everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Well, the sun is down, all systems are full, and with the sun going down and starting to get dark, the frogs wake up, as you can hear. And we're going to head on up there to the bungalow and show you the newest little addition to the blue wall. They were really chirping right here, but when I walked over here, the ones that were chirping here got real quiet. All right, good morning. It's actually the next morning now. As soon as I got up there last night, it started raining so hard I couldn't hear myself think. So right here is going to be the newest addition to the blue wall, and this is the Victron Energy Smart Battery Sense. And give you just an idea how small this is. Yeah. And it only has 2 leads coming off of it, so it couldn't be easier to hook up to your battery. It's just got 1 negative and 1 positive. And you hook that up to the opposite ends of your battery, of course. And then the light starts immediately flashing after you've hooked it up. And it'll tie in to your network if you're running other Victron devices, such as I am here. You know, we've got the inverter, charge controller, the Bluetooth smart dongle, and the smart shunt. So yeah, it'll fit right in with all of these, and I'm going to show you just how easy it is to set up. And it has a built-in fuse on the positive side, which is nice. So you can see it popped up on the Victron app along with all the other devices which are now networked together. The charge controller, the shunt, the dongle, and now the smart battery sense. And you can see all of the values look very, very close. 13.45 volts on the battery sense. The shunt 13.4846. So it's all extremely close, and they will talk to each other, and it's a good way to just see what's going on with everything. And this is back on the smart battery sense that we're looking at. 23 degrees Celsius, 13.44 battery voltage. Charge controller reads at 13.47. So extremely close, and it's, you know, it constantly fluctuates as we have, you know, a little bit of solar coming in right now, 102 watts. But here's what's nice about this battery sense. Let's say you had this in the batteries in a different location than like I do here, where everything is basically the same temperature. You know, what if I had these underneath the structure and it was colder? That's a good reason to have one of these, especially your batteries are in a different location than all your other devices, reading the temperature. And let's also imagine that maybe you purchased one of those lithium iron phosphate batteries that does not have low temperature cutoff protection. So now that you've got all these devices together, you can come up here to the charge controller. You take a peek at that, and then you can come up here to the settings, go to battery, and then right down at the bottom, low temperature cutoff, set for 5 degrees Celsius. So if you wanted to change that value, all you have to do is press that. And then you would come up here and lower or raise the value to whatever you wanted. Now out here, this is not really an issue, but a lot of you in colder climates, this is really an issue, to where now you've got low temperature cutoff protection with your devices. So you can change that to whatever you want and then just press OK. So right now I'm just going to leave it like that. I hope to never see 5 degrees Celsius here, and I probably won't. But now this works as your low temperature cutoff protection in conjunction with the charge controller. So, you know, you drop down into freezing temperatures, you got your batteries, like I said, maybe in a different location, and then everything else, it's constantly monitoring the temperature and talking to the charge controller, so you can program that to cut off. You know, it's going to dip down to freezing wherever you are. Set this properly through the charge controller, and since it's constantly monitoring the temperature, then you won't start charging when your battery is too cold to be charged, or discharging for that matter, right? So yeah, under the conditions I have here in the subtropics, this wasn't a real necessity, because I'm keeping these batteries in the same location and I don't get those kind of wild cold temperatures that a lot of you guys do. So, and most of the batteries that I run do have low temperature cutoff protection. But, you know, if you did, like I said, get a battery that did not have that, and you're running some of these devices, well, then you've got your protection and you can adjust it to your own climate and whatever, you know, you want for your safety features on that cutoff protection. So, and actually, I think if I was in colder climate and I did have batteries with the low temperature cutoff protection, I would install this anyway. It's pretty cheap. It was about 40 bucks, I think, is what I paid for it. And I would want that extra added protection that I knew would be built in. Plus, you know, you can just adjust it so quickly, like, you know, it's going to start dropping down in temperature or whatever. You can just go in there and make sure that you've got yourself covered through your devices. So, you know, the sun pops up in the morning and your panels are working and you're bringing in a bunch of power, but you don't want that to be going into those batteries while they're frozen. You know, it won't allow it. And with this talking to this and everything talking to each other, it just gives you that extra added protection, especially in colder climates. You know, I never used to keep, when I lived up in the mountains in cold climate, boy, this would have been great. You know, all of these would have been great tied together, because that's just really a great little addition there. Yeah, so you create your network, and you can see that network icon. All of these are networked together. Now it says that smart battery sense, transmitting battery voltage and temperature sense to all these other devices. And you can see up there that it is joined to the network. So super easy to hook up. You know, it only takes a couple of minutes, and especially if you're running these Victron devices, you don't have to worry about your temperature with your batteries. Pretty nice. And let's just look and see how close everything is again. So the charge controller is reading 13.41, but it's got, you know, it's got 42 watts coming in. The battery sense is reading the exact temperature of the batteries, 13.39, 13.39, 13.4. And the smart dongle, 13.38, but that's with the inverter running. So it's reading that 22 watt load coming off of that, running the light and the inverter, and I think I'm charging a device too. So yeah, they're all talking to each other. They bounce around just the slightest bit, but you can see they're all on the same page. But that battery sense is going to give you the most accurate temperature of your batteries wherever you have them located. So, you know, if you're in an RV and those batteries are in a, you know, an underneath compartment, it's going to be colder than the living space where you might have some of these other devices. So yeah, you want to make sure you know what the temperature of your battery is, and you can be sure that that battery sense is going to be accurate for you. So And then super easy. Super easy. And reasonable. I mean, that's kind of like battery insurance, right? So even in the warmer climate here, I'm glad to have this. On the back, you can peel off this clear film, and it's got a sticky back, so you could stick it on the side of your battery or on top or wherever you wanted. Because I switch out batteries up here quite a bit for various reasons and testing and stuff, I'm just leaving it to where it just sits like that. But you can, fix it to your battery if you want. Just peel that film off and it'll stick right to your battery. I'm not worried about that right here. It's just kind of part of the wall now. So more blue. But yeah, I like having this. I like the fact that I've just got everything chatting with each other and taking care of business. Pretty slick little device, actually. And just looking at the smart shunt real quick, I can see that that battery bank is up to 91% full. And it's going to definitely get to a full charge today, even under these low light conditions. I mean, only 75 watts coming in, but we're going to get up there. Yeah. And as soon as this all goes to full charge and float in another 9% or so, you can see I've got some other stuff tied up here. And we're gonna get right back onto this right here. And what is that tied into? This battery's doing okay, and I got it tied up, and I'm working on that video right now, nervously. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. You can see pretty gray, typical. Everything's charging though. All the systems down in the house are getting charged up. They have been. Not lacking for power, even though haven't technically seen the sun, but it's out there. All right, you guys. Aloha. See you here shortly. Well, that 48 volt battery is going to get worked out here the rest of the day. Got a helicopter flying above.